sustainability on the theme of creating a sustainable living platform. My name is Amartya Pang.
And my name is Sudhima Chattaraputi. You will be the host for today's talk.
First thing first, for the safety purposes, the following video will guide you what to do if there are some emergency happening. Please enjoy the video.
Before you start your reading, we'd like to take a moment of your time to familiarize yourself with some safety features in the event of an emergency situation. During an emergency situation, remember these three things. Know your exits. Remain calm. Listen to staff. The meeting room you're in right now has the following exits. Familiarize yourself with these exits, which have exit signs above them. Professional staff members of Energy Complex are ready to help you out in the case of an emergency. So once you know your exits, remaining calm is very important and makes for a very speedy and smooth exit from the building. And please do not use elevators during fires. Staff will direct you to either stairways and lead you safely down until you reach the ground floor. We hope you have a safe and pleasant meeting at Energy Complex. Thank you, and have a safe meeting.
Well, since we aim for sustainability and this seminar is mostly paperless and USB discs, you will find a copy of the program, introductory brochure of our four sponsors, and also sustainability report, an annual report of PCL, Toyota Motors, and BASF. We will upload the presentation file after the lecture, and you can download the file from the webpage www.ttc.tulsa.ac.th/CSEP 2013. And you may also search for the presentation video on YouTube as well.
First of all, I would like to invite Mr. Stephen Cole, the Senior Vice President of BASF East Asia Regional Headquarters, for the opening remarks.
Please welcome Mr. Stephen Cole.
Swadee Krap. It is a pleasure to be here in a platinum-rated eco-friendly building on behalf of PTT Group, because today we kick off the first distinguished lecture for sustainability for BASF. Sustainability and sustainable development is a very important topic that touches each and every one of us, because there are 7 billion people in the world always looking for a higher standard of living. At this rate, we will not be able to sustain such a consumption level for future generations. It is very important that we work together to find new ways of doing things. The topic of sustainability has to balance the economic needs of people and society, but also ecological protection. At the same time, it has to look after the social interests of everybody in society. If you think about it, this has to be done on a complete and holistic basis. It cannot be done with any one individual. It cannot be done by any one company. It cannot even be done by one country itself, because ecological and social issues today move across borders, just as economic issues always have. To achieve this, BASF recognizes that we must work across borders. We must work with stakeholders in different countries and different backgrounds to bring together a platform, a place to discuss the best way of sustainable development. For this reason, we have started this lecture series, and we have started it with this particular event in Thailand. Why Thailand? Well, I'm also learning myself every day. Thailand is the country where PTT Group is researching very much the use of different fuels in motor vehicles. It is a place where Toyota Motors Corporation is coming to really expand the use of sustainable vehicles. And for BSF, that's a very good reason to be here. On top of that, we're very fortunate, BSF, to have been working with Chulalongkorn University, NIDA, and also the Polymer Society of Thailand over the last few months to discuss the topic of biodegradability and non-toxicity. These all come together today for this first lecture on the energy platform, on a platform that is sustainable, that is good for Thailand, but also good for the world. So I look forward to speaking with you today in this platform, and I would like to introduce my colleague from Thailand, Khun Bun Thai.
Thank you, Khun Stephen. Professor, distinguished guests from association, university, private sector, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of BSF Thai, it's my privilege and honor I will be here to have the first distinguished lecture for sustainability. And thank you very, very much to Stephen and all this kind of institution to form this kind of sustainability distinguished lecture today. And for me, sustainability is very clear, is not a more far-reaching topic. Basically, it's very close to our daily life already. Because Stephen has been mentioned talking about 6.5 to 7 billion population we have now today. Would you believe in year 2050, the number of the population will ramp up to the level of 9 billion, and it creates a lot of pressure about the resources, where we have been living in a very challenging environment. I'm saying this because basically nowadays we already use up 1.5 times of the resource the earth can be generated. And if we don't change our behavior, if we don't change the way we live, in terms of also the business model, then in 2050, then we need altogether 3 planets to form this kind of the challenge of the 9 billion population. So I'm really glad to be part of the first distinguished lecture for sustainability today. And I'm very, very confident that will be this kind of the first starting point where we can have a sustainable future. Let's grow and jointly develop this sustainability concept to have, I would say, a future for our community, country, and in the end, the planet we live. Once again, thank you very much. ขอบคุณมากครับ
May I invite Dr. Phomthong Maraguna Ayutthaya, the Dean of the Petroleum and Petrochemical College, on the stage for the message from the Petroleum and Petrochemical College. Please welcome Dr. Phomthong.
On behalf of the Petroleum and Petrochemical College, Chulalongkorn University, I'm honored to be a part of this consortium. I consider this is a unique collaboration. As you may see, we have 4 partners. One is from private sector, BSF, 2 from academy. One is business school, NIDA. The other one is technology, PPC. And the last one is Polymer Society. So this is 4 minds, only 1 heart, centered on sustainability. So I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the 2 keynote speakers, organizing team, and all invited guests in this room for being here. Thank you very much.
Next, I would like to invite Dr. Viput Omsakul, the Dean of NIDA Business School, on the stage for the greeting opening speech from the NIDA Business School. Please welcome.
สวัสดีครับ Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be the host of this event, jointly with the BSF, Chulalongkorn, and Polymer Society. As a business school, I think we have the responsibility to develop the business leader and functional manager. And we have the idea that we should implant the idea of business can make money and still can do something good for society and environment. By creating economic value, business can share this value to society. Without creating business or economic value, business cannot have enough power to do something good for others. The idea of making money and doing something good for society is not a conflicting idea. And I hope this event can be a good example for the big business that implement something both good for business and environment. I hope this event will be a successful event. And thank you very much for joining us.
Next, may I call Dr. Sivabun Jirachanchai, the President of the Polymer Society of Thailand, to come on the stage for the opening congratulatory message and some introduction of the Polymer Society of Thailand. Please welcome Dr. Sivabun.
สวัสดีครับ Dr. ไพรินทร์ ชูโชติ ถาวร President and CEO of the PTT PCL, Mr. Stephen Koh, the Senior Vice President of the BASF East Asia Regional Headquarters, Mr. Nobuhiko Koga, Project General Manager of Toyota Motor Corporation Japan, the consulting colleagues, and distinguished guests. Well, good afternoon. First of all, I would like to express my appreciation for your valuable time to join the Sustainability Consulting Forum today. At the same time, I also would like to acknowledge BASF Asia Regional Headquarters, Mr. Stephen Koh, and Professor Ujo Kim, who are not only the consortium initiative, but also providing all supports to make this happening to be true today. The Polymer Society was founded in 1991 with an ultimate goal of establishing local and international networks between academia from universities and research institutes and engineers from industries in plastics, petrochemicals, and polymers related. In order to achieve the goal, the Society offers seminars, workshops, and conferences. At the moment, we have about 500 members, with 80% are university professors, institute researchers, and 20% from the private sectors. So it is a great honor today for the Society to be a member in the Sustainability Consortium, since it is another important activity to represent the Thai polymer community. So last but not least, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the success of the distinguished sustainability lecture today in advance. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sivabun. Now it's time for the first lecture. I would like to invite Dr. Pompong Malagunya, the Dean of the Petroleum and Petrochemical College, Chulalongkorn University, to be the chair of the lecture.
It is my pleasure to introduce the first keynote speakers of the first distinguished sustainability lecture we have here today. Dr. Pairin Chuchot Thawon, the President and Chief Executive Officer of PTT Public Company Limited. I have to admit that Dr. Pairin may need any introduction at all. Most of us here know him very well. He's been on the news, television, newspaper, magazine, almost every day or every week. I myself have known him for many years. I used to call him Ajahn because he graduated bachelor degree in chemical engineering from Chulalongkorn University And after he got his PhD from Tokyo Institute of Technology, he had taught at Faculty of Engineering, Chulalongkorn University for almost a year. I think of Dr. Pailin as an ideal speaker for sustainability issues. While most people often think of sustainability as in the context of environment only, in fact, sustainability has covered three aspects: environment or ecology, economics, and social. Dr. Pailin, among very few people, has realized that all these three aspects at a very early stage of his career, and he has tried to work on each aspect as well as trying to balance all three aspects together. He has started his career at National Petrochemical Corporation, where he involved in building the first petrochemical complex in Thailand, in Mataput. Then he switched to banking business with Bangkok Bank, and then back to petroleum and petrochemical again. As a CEO of IRPC, he has laid a solid foundation of R&D at IRPC, not only to build our own capacity in human resources and technology, but to give good product to the people, and this green product help save the Mother Earth. He had also steered the company to develop strong relationship with the community before the word CSR has even spread in Thailand. Since 2011, he has become president and CEO of PTT, the position where he can fulfill his vision towards sustainability, covering all aspects. To set business and environmental on the same path, he has initiated Technology Advanced and Green National Oil Company, or TAPNOC, and Green Roadmap for PTT. So the green technology and green products will be developed. This will help sustain the country needs without harming the environment. For people and community, he has initiated the project to set up PTT Leadership and Learning Institute and to build the Rayong Science Academy and Rayong Institute of Science and Technology to foster and nurture young generations of scientists and researchers for improving and sustaining the country competitiveness. Well, that is just an order. I think you are thirsting for the main course. The title of this talk today is Energy and Environment in the Context of Sustainability. Now it's time. I would like to invite Dr. Pailin on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Dr. Pailin to show power.
Ladies and gentlemen, and colleagues from our NIDA business, it's my honor, really my honor to be here to share with you some of our thoughts concerning sustainability that we always working in PTT. Before I get into my talk, let me also welcome all of you to this energy complex building. This is where most of our company in PTT Group located, and I hope you find our facility accommodating. And as somebody mentioned before, this is the first building in Thailand that been certified with platinum class building in ASEAN. My talk today will be about 1 hour, and I will touch on 4 points as shown here on the agenda. First, I will talk about the global CEO study on sustainability. This was done for the United Nations meeting in New York, September of this year, which is about 2 months ago. Secondly, I will talk about energy for society principle set by the World Economic Forum. And then I will touch on the subject of energy literacy in Thailand and wrap up with the PTT ways of sustainability development. May I first start by showing a short video clip made for the United Nations meeting in sustainability 2 months ago. This is what some afternoon teas is.
The UN Global Compact's Accenture CEO study is a unique opportunity to give a voice to global executives on the past, present and future of sustainable business.
What I think we need to do as businesses is to more consistently show leadership and establish that actually this isn't a compromise. You can grow businesses, but you can do so while making it more efficient and creating better value for customers at the same time.
One of the biggest takeaways from our conversations with CEOs is a palpable sense of frustration with the speed and scale of transformation taking place on sustainability. I think that's really embodied in the finding that only 32% felt that the global economy was on track to meet the needs of economic development within planetary boundaries. And 33% of CEOs felt that business was doing enough on sustainability.
No one institution, no one sector of society can deal with that one alone. It's a question of bringing the multilateral institutions, the governments, the private sector, as well as civil society organizations who very often are the ones who see what is happening on the ground.
CEOs are in many cases struggling to make the short-term business case within the context of traditional business metrics. We describe that as a plateau effect since 2010 on sustainable business, and a phenomenon that we need to watch carefully and be concerned about in the context of prolonged and ongoing sustainability challenges. CEOs believe that in order to go to scale and speed on sustainable business, we need to align markets. And that alignment requires engaging consumers, investors, and policymakers.
在这个转变过程中，我们一直致力于推动绿色在我们这行业运用。
Some CEOs told us that they are having increasing numbers of conversations with investors. But on the whole, chief executives told us that mainstream investors are still largely lacking in engagement on sustainable business. On the one hand, CEOs believe that consumers are a key driving force, both now and in the future, on sustainable business. But they also told us that they get very mixed signals and that in many cases, consumers may not be the catalytic force at the heart of transformation.
Ultimately, our focus on investment in science and technology will forge new frontier knowledge in energy research. This will aim for sustainable energy solutions, innovation that will yield long-term benefit for our organization and our society.
In 2010, we felt that chief executives were very bullish about the potential for market forces and markets to align with sustainable development outcomes. I would say in 2013 that CEOs are more reticent and that feel that there is a limit to how far they can go in making the business case without broader reshaping of markets. In particular, they see governments and policymakers as integral to driving the kind of market incentives and environment required to scale sustainable business. But while CEOs see the urgent need for systems transformation, they're not waiting for that change. We see a group of transformational leaders aligning sustainability with growth and innovation, driving real impact on sustainability, but also creating competitive advantage and value. These leaders provide an architecture for learning as companies how to frame, think and act on sustainable business.
Each of us has to inform each other and come together in new and exciting ways in order to be transformative.
It was Benjamin Franklin here in the US who actually said that you may delay, but time will not, lost time will never be found again.
The video is a result of a study prepared for the UN Global Compact Leader Summit held in New York, September this year. You can see that Mr. Ban Ki-moon said here, in an attempt to mobilize and expand a network to act on the sustainable development. Obviously, the UN leaders' sustainable development is one of an important factor for the global leaders. I was featured among the selected CEOs in the video from over 1,000 interviews, perhaps because of our unique angle we take on sustainability, which we call the learning track for sustainability. This I will elaborate more on it later in the later part of my talk today. First, let me say that PTT was born and raised with many unique features itself. A national energy company where it is both state-owned enterprise and a publicly listed company. In addition, PTT Group is also collectively the largest pieces of the stock exchange of Thailand at 25% of the whole browse. As a result, at this moment, many entities, individuals have claimed ownership of PTT, whether rightly or not so, is a different issue. Let me recap just a bit on the videos. The study was conducted from about 1,000 CEOs globally. Mostly that sustainability is an important feature of their future success. This should not be a surprise to anyone. And however, this is especially true for most of us in the energy industry, where there has always been a growing issue on what we call the license to operate. General public has increasingly more or want to have more influence or say on our legal or our moral right to do our business. And although most CEOs believe that the business should reach and deliver sustainable development goals, we also see the needs for government intervention and regulation. And finally, the study translates to 7 steps, as shown here on this slide. I think you all can read faster than I can talk, so I will not go into detail for each of the steps. So this is what the UN Global Compact CEO study concludes. Let me move on to the next one on my agenda, which narrowed down the sustainability issue on the energy industry. This I will talk about an attempt to create what we call a social contract between the industry and the society. In doing so, World Economic Forum, or WEF, has established the Energy for Society principle. Why do we need a social contract? This slide shows a few examples of problems and public resistance to energy industry. Our license to operate is directly linked to sustainability of our industry. Energy accessibility is connected to many controversial issues on a national or even on a global scale, ranging from climate change, new frontier reserves such as deep water and Arctic, the fracking technology, to many geopolitical unrest. Energy is essential for economical development and well-being of mankind, but it is finite, and most come from non-renewable resources. People want and need energy, but most are not willing to listen or accept the trade-off to have access to affordable energies. The word NIMBY or not in my backyard is commonly used in our industry. Take a look at more reason for the social contract. Look at this finding from the World Economic Forum surveys in 2012. You can see that people's perception for energy industry has declined. Part of this is due to, number one, manipulation of energy policy by politicians. Issues such as price subsidies, using energy pricing scheme to gain political advantage or support. Or secondly, the connection to climate change and other environmental concerns. And thirdly, at least half of the 10 most profitable companies in the world are energy companies. To add more to the big picture, you can see from the same survey that as a spokesperson, corporate CEOs have become less and less credible in public's opinion. You see that the arrow of the CEOs is pointing down from 50% to 38%. Only the government officials were doing worse. To put the last two slides together and to keep in mind that public perception are becoming more and more important to our license to operate. Things are not looking so good for myself and my peer in the same industry. Need I say more on the urgency of a social contract? So the Energy Society principles were drawn up. There are 5 of them. The signatory to the 5 principles are committed to: number 1, to secure and affordable access to energy. Number 2, efficient energy system. Number 3, responsible citizen. Number 4, contributing to economic development. And number 5, promoting energy literacy. This 5th point is probably new to most of the people in this room. But it is the point where PTT see that the industry as a whole perhaps lags behind most, but yet it is very important. Energy illiterate society will lead to a spiral of death of the industry. It will shape up many policies that will not support sustainable energy consumption, and therefore not creating a platform for sustainable development or sustainable future of our mankind. These are examples of signatory to the principle. You can see that they range from the biggest company in the world in 2013, or from the Fortune 1 to the smallest company. PTT then was number 81 on the global Fortune list, but we were among the founding signatories, or the first one to endorse the principle publicly. These are my quotes that reflect what I believe regarding sustainability. Leadership, education, energy literacy are the fundamental in sustainability and sustainable development. Here you can see the word learning triad. It is the concept that I believe we guide our organization on a sustainable journey. I will come back to this last section, at the last section of my talk. WEF and I are not alone in pressing emphasis on energy literacy and education. You can see here that even the US government has embarked on the Energy Education Act. Actually, in the picture is Mr. Stanley Chu, the Undersecretary of Energy. He's one of the Nobel laureate. These are the goals that they set, aiming at innovation, clean energy, and education or energy literacy, implying sustainable development. The key takeaway from these last few slides are the relevance and connection of energy literacy education to the sustainable society. Now let me move to the issue closer to home. How about the needs for energy literacy in Thailand? What has been done and why it is so important? I must apologize for the non-Thai audience in this room because these are few of the slides that are in Thai, but we'll talk you through here. The anti-energy industry notes on social media in Thailand always have one unique feature. Because of the uniqueness of PTT Group that I mentioned earlier, we are a state-owned enterprise that is listed in the stock exchange. Our financial performance is very transparent to the public. This should be good news to our stakeholders, should be. Ladies and gentlemen, you may believe it or not, there is a segment in the general population who are not happy with our operating profit, but not in the way that the most shareholder in the world would be. They are not happy with our organization because they believe that we are too profitable. As a result, they believe that the energy price that they are paying for must be unreasonably expensive. Consequently, they wish to take back the PTT Group to the people or to the country as a means to lower the energy price. I'm not sure if they knew that currently the Minister of Finance owns about 7% of PTT directly or indirectly. They went on to say that the retail pump price nationwide is too high because of PTT, and PTT should use its annual profit to subsidize the gasoline or diesel price at the service station. Some cited that our retail gasoline is among the highest in the world, despite the fact that Thailand is endowed with enormous petroleum reserve. Some even say our oil and gas reserves are more than that some countries in the OPEC, so on and so forth. Honestly speaking, I wish some of these false claims were true. And most of the time, these people are confused between energy ministry's national energy policy with PTT's corporate strategy, especially on issues such as price subsidy, oil fund, taxation scheme, on retail price structure, most of which has nothing to do or beyond control of PTT. Let's park those issues or misconceptions for a moment and take a look at some facts on this slide. This is a comparison among countries on energy consumption to generate GDP, or what we call the energy intensities. The unit is on y-axis TOE per million dollars, or the amount of energy used to generate millions US dollars of GDP. And the y-axis is the timeline. To read the graph, the lower the line, the more energy efficient the country is to generate its GDP. Here we see that Singapore used the least amount of energy per million US dollar among Asian countries. Obviously, the country is not manufacturing based. It generates most of its GDP from the knowledge based or service business. The alarming thing for our country is the trend shown here, as we can see that the line for Thailand incline upwards, indicating less and less energy efficiency as time progresses. This is not what we would like to see. This trend does not support sustainable energy consumption. And why does this happen? Let me offer you part of the reason. And if you look carefully at the complaints on social media about energy, You see that most people understand that the access to affordable energy is their right or entitlement. Accessing to affordable energy is always assumed or taken for granted. And the society normally don't pay as much attention to the duty that the people have in order to attain or get such a right. This cartoon shows that understanding both the yellow and the red is equally important. A consumer must understand both his right and duty. This is a fundamental area of energy literacy. Access to energy must be managed both on supply and demand side. Normally, we learn in Economy 101 that the market mechanism determines the equilibrium point between price and availability of a product in the market. A product that is hard to find or hard to produce will have high price, and thus consumers won't consume a lot and will seek alternative to that particular product. Energy price subsidy distort this market mechanism and encourage consumers to consume more and more energy. Or even worse, make wrong investment decisions regarding the types of energy to consume. To illustrate this point, Thailand used to be a gas exporting country, but unfortunately, we also have long history of price subsidy scheme on LPG or cooking gas. The retail price of gas that we have had represent only a fraction of the cost to produce. Our national gas consumption has gone up dramatically as the gas price has been controlled, and now as a result, we are a gas importing country. And this is yet another example of the importance of the energy literacy. So now I move to the last part of my presentation this afternoon. This is what I mentioned to the CEO surveys and what you heard briefly in the short video clip at the beginning. And I will talk about our taking on sustainable development. Sustainability is yet another term that essentially adds a new dimension to the meaning of corporate world. Like the term green, or the term high value added, or the term marketing 3.0 that came before it. Now I'm sure that this term is mentioned a lot in boardrooms around the world. And in many places, if you recall from the video clip, this is among the things on the top of the priority list of most CEOs. At PTT Group, this diagram depicts pressure that we are applied on us by different entities. For us, sustainability requires proper answer to call the order from different dimensions. Let me share a few of them with you. Number one, as a business entity, PTT Group must always ensure acceptable returns to our investors. Number two, we must fulfill requirements from the state as a state-owned enterprise that has a duty to ensure national energy security. Number three, we must maintain our license to operate from the community that we operate in. And number four, because our visibility and our size, we sometimes are linked to many political issues. And if you regularly use the Vipassana road, you might see examples of what I'm talking about at our fund grade from the time to time. I believe there are still some people camping outside our fund gate today. Number five, our domestic resources are depleting. The easy oil is no longer available. We are now venturing into more and more difficult territory to do business. Number six, We must keep up with the pace of technology evolution. Our competitors are getting more and more high-tech. Technology and innovation can be a differentiation between winner and loser. Number 7, and have I forgotten the climate change issue? Having said all this, let me share with you how we are taking on the sustainability challenges. The PTT Group is building a learning track for sustainability. As the name implies, it consists of the 3 elements. Learning of 3 different dimensions will be offered through 3 types of institutions. From left to right, they are number 1, the Thailand Energy Academy. Number 2, PLLI, or the PTT Leadership and Learning Institute. And number 3, RISE, or Rayong Institute of Science and Technology, and RASA, which stands for Rayong Science Academy. Starting from left, the soft knowledge, we, together with the Minister of Energy, established the Thailand Energy Academy, or in short for TEA, with the intention to promote the energy literacy to the general public. We start with opinion leaders from 7 sectors, which consists of media, academia, NGOs, government, energy industry, business, and the most important, politicians. Admitting about 75 people per class, the curriculum is about 4.5 months long. We just finished the 3rd class of TA 3 a few weeks ago, and the reception from the opinion leader has been great. We intend to create a network of energy literate leaders to promote sustainability energy consumption in the society. The class will meet once a month from lunch to dinner for 4 months. Any hot issue, misconception, incidents like the blackout in the south, the oil spill in Rayong, and myths about energy and energy policy are discussed among the class participants and the lecturer. These lecturers are nationally renowned gurus in their own right from many sectors. Domestic and overseas field trips are blended in, dealing the duration to give hands-on experience in energy industry and related innovation to the class participants. There is also a group of projects for our participants to present at the end of the curriculum. For those who are interested, you can visit the website as shown here. Documents used in all the classes are publicly available in the website as well. And you can also see some of the photos of the activities. Here are the sample photos of the participants and activities. We also take the participant in every class to offshore platform in the Gulf of Thailand. And the bottommost photo was taken at the sunny Banjak solar farm. The Banjak was a newest investment in solar energy. On the other side of the scale, we also believe in deep dive approach in frontier knowledge and research in science and technologies. PTT Group is establishing a world-class research university and a world-class science high school for gifted children in the science and mathematics. Both these institutes will be located in Rayong province. There will be residential learning facility and will be small in size, but will be very selective on the student, faculties, teachers must all pass very strict selection criteria. The school will have very small ratio of student to teacher. Our university or RISE will initially offer only graduate program in energy and molecular science. We will also have, for the first time in Thailand, a full-time postdoctoral program to foster environments that enable research excellence for the country's top brain who have passion in science and technology. All the students will receive scholarship with no commitment and there will no string attached for future employment in the PTT group. And the main purpose of this establishment is to raise the level of our national competitiveness in technology and innovation, which I truly believe is a future contribution to the sustainability. For the university, our goal is to be recognized among the top 50 research universities globally in 2035, about 20 years after the opening. This is more than a challenge, but we are aspired to be, and we will fully believe we have the resource to attain such challenge goals. Good example of such accomplishment are top Korean research universities that are among the top ranked in less than 30 years. Let me say again that I believe that this will be a very difficult but not impossible to attain. We expect that both RISE and RASA will start admitting students in 2015. I hope this will really start a new era of research excellence and education that increase the national competitiveness and sustainability in the long run. The last composition of the diet is the PLLI, or PTT Leadership and Learning Institute. As the name implies, it is designed to provide lifetime leadership learning for all PTT's members. Our vision is to have PLLI as the heart of learning of the PTT group. We believe that leadership quality or attribute is required for our employee at all levels and in all functions. Specialized learning programs are designed for succession planning, as well as for self-improvement for an employee at different stages of his or her careers. As we are transforming into a knowledge-based organization, our employees are offered opportunity in core learning as well as functional learning. Business units are encouraged to form their specialized academy for knowledge management and sharing the best practice. These learning entities or institutions were tailor-made to cater to different segments of people, from opinion leaders in the Thai society, the scientists, researchers, to our employees. The Thailand Energy Academy was created to promote energy literacy for our society at large. The RISE Research University and the Rasa Science High School for gifted children are being built to home our brightest young mind in Thailand to foster future innovation. And last but not least, PLLI are being created for lifetime learning of corporate employees of PTT Group. From a business perspective, this program will help creating a pool of leaders and talented human resources to to support our global operation and fulfill our aspiration to be a learning organization. For society, energy literacy will bring about policies and behavior that promote sustainable energy consumption. And ultimately, our focus and investment in science and technology will foster new frontier research and innovation. This should create solutions and technologies that will yield sustainable benefit to our country. Ladies and gentlemen, I truly believe that education is one of the most important focus areas in our company's sustainable development mandate. Our learning triad concept and program showcases how we are integrating sustainability to the society and our nation at a macro level. All this is a long-term proposition. In my remaining 2 years as a CEO at PTT, I certainly want to see if the initiative will bear all the fruits that I have intentionally seeking for. But I believe it is the right time and the right thing to do, and I hope you would agree with me. Thank you very much.
And ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcome Mr. Nobuhiro Koga.
Thank you, Professor Stolman, and thanks BASF colleagues, Stephen and Krishna-san for giving me such occasion to share the views in front of distinguished VIP guests as well as the audiences, to share the views how we are going to create a sustainable energy platform. Before talking my presentation, the last weekend I was going to Ayutthaya with my friends, and I was so shocked how the attack was so severe. But also it sufficiently reminded me how society in Ayutthaya was so rich, vigorous and cheerful and powerful and rich. But it was finally not sustainable. No stakeholders should be egoistic. We should be on the same ground. So that's why I'm so appreciating to have such an opportunity to listen to the views and to share the views how we are going to create a sustainable platform. Some of you, or many of you, may not know Toyota, may not know the name of Toyota. So that's fair to start who we are. We are Toyota Motor Corporation, and founded in 1937, founded by Keiichiro Toyota. Initially, that was a venture business. The initial company was old looming machine, and the son of the founder of Toyota Auto Industry was making a venture business for making the cars. That was the start of the history. And currently, the numbers of the global employee was about 330,000 in consolidated basis, including the people in Thailand. And you can see the business results, as you can see in the slide. One of the highlights, one point to be highlighted is in the bar charts in the bottom. Blue one is showing the sales results of last year, and the yellow bars is showing the production results of last year. Thailand is the fifth largest market for global Toyota. But also, importantly, Thailand is the third largest country for global Toyota. Clearly, Thailand is one of the most important production hubs for global Toyota.
Many of you may know that Toyota has been making a number of cars in these plants, like Hilux or the others, or Camry or the others, or other passenger cars. And the car which has been produced in the numbers of the production plant in Thailand has been exported to different regions. Clearly, these cars, especially for Hilux or the other pickups or pickup-based SUV, the Thailand is the core center of the Toyota global production. And not only production portfolio, but also R&D in Thailand is also quite important. This shows which area we have R&D center in the world. This year, actually, 10-year anniversary for TMAC, we call it TMAC Tech Center in Thailand. And the number of employees is 600. Sorry, the number is not in my head. And the major R&D activity here in Thailand is to design a pickup-based truck and also calibration of natural gas vehicle, which we have big market here in Thailand. And also the other activities like the technical collaboration with PTT is positioned in quite important role because energy and the vehicle that's the kind of husband and wife. So we need energy, but energy is consumed by vehicle. So we need both. So let's come to my presentation. We have said triple E. Many people says that okay, when I has been asked to talk about energy, people may be interested in how Toyota is thinking of hybrid or how Toyota is thinking of hydrogen fuel cell. But actually, we have believed that our responsibility for the energy is not necessarily on the use of the fuel energy, but also we need energy for production and transport for the goods, and of course the use, and we need employment, and eventually big sales and tax has been happening, and finally scrap and recycling could influence to the environment or society. So these are the responsibilities we have recognized as a vehicle manufacturer. But to make it simple, today I'm talking about energy, especially for the use. Dr. Belling was highlighting no easy oil is available. But still, many reasonable analysts or other super measures have said, don't be panicked. Oil is available, will be available. When I was a child, and when I was a student in elementary school, I was told from my teacher that oil will last in the next 40 years. But this is still the case, actually. Thanks to the latest development of the technology for exploration or recovery, the recent analysts said, the most recent reasonable analysts said that oil will last in the next 50 years or plus. As an engineer, we believe the future further development of the technology for exploration or recovery. But the point is, it is geographically unbalanced. This global map is showing which region have energy and which region doesn't. The region in white, like former Soviet Union, Middle East, Africa, Latin America, as a region, they are and they will be net energy exporters. They have energy. They have energy to export. And region in dark green is categorized as net energy importers. They don't have the energy, but they have the energy. But the amount is not sufficient to fill in their domestic demand. Only exceptional region is observed in the US. Many of you have never heard that shale gas revolution or whatever. Thanks to shale gas revolution, they are turning to be energy independent region. So it may create, or it may create some change on energy politics or energy geopolitics, but we do not know. But the point this time is that region here, like ASEAN region, or China, or India, which is demand center, which will be major demand center, doesn't have and will not have sufficient amount of energy. But still we need here energy to grow the economy and the society. So that's why many policy has been now happening, and it looks a little bit chaotic now. I don't want to explain in detail. So this is one of the famous chart of Livermore, which primary energy has been consumed by which sector. And the gray flow is indicated as a wasted energy. And overall, in the society, there are many kinds of primary energy, like crude oil, natural gas, coal, nuclear, or biomasses. And it has been converted to the energy carrier, like gasoline, diesel, or the biofuels, or the others. And finally consumed at different sectors, like transport, residential sectors, or industries. But two sectors can be highlighted in power sector as well as transport sector. It has been categorized as major part of energy has been wasted at these sectors. And clearly, road transport sector is one of them. Thus, we have recognized that we need to improve efficiency as much as possible. So this is our basic philosophy or strategy. How to save the energy, how to improve the efficiency. So left side, the preview shows that the basic concept that we need to improve efficiency, or we need to reduce the energy per person kilometer. In order to do it, we should conduct a measure for having better fuel economy of the car, and also smoother traffic flow, as well as modal mix, which I'm going to show you later. And also, energy diversification is also one of the pillars to be considered, which contains less carbon content or less external dependencies for countries. For instance, Thailand for crude oil, I think self-supply ratio for Thailand for crude is about 30 to 40%. So this means 60 to 70% of crude has been imported from the Middle East or the others. If something happens in the Middle East, Thailand will be in trouble. So that's why external dependency is also one of the key to be highlighted. And third pillar is on the public or consumers. Of course, we're going to make better or efficient cars. Or energy company can provide biofuels, natural gas, or the other renewable energy. But if people doesn't pay attention, or if people doesn't select these combinations, the policy or reasonable policy cannot be realized. So that's why we need to get consumers' choice on the reasonable combination between efficient cars as well as new energy. So I'm talking about energy. I'm talking about fuel economy improvement as well as energy diversification. This is the basic philosophy: how to improve the vehicle efficiency, how to get better mileage in the car. Of course, many of you may say that you have hybrid, but hybrid is not only the solution. Hybrid is just a transmission to improve overall vehicle efficiency. So still improving internal efficiency of internal combustion engine as well as transmission efficiency still we need to improve further. Of course, aerodynamic coefficiency or lightweight material, rolling resistance, all combination has to be integrated into the vehicles, not only hybrid, but also many other. I'm not expecting that many of you are engine engineer, but I'm an engine engineer, and I'm a piston engineer. And inside the company, many colleagues are criticizing me that the era of internal combustion engine is over. So in the next decade, we are having the era of electrified mobility, like electric vehicles, plug-in hybrid cars, or fuel cell cars. But I'm still strongly believing that the future or potential of internal combustion engine, like the gasoline engine or diesel engine. I'm going to explain. I'm trying to explain to you how to improve efficiency of the engine itself. This is the chart. This is the chart over engine speed and engine torque. The basic concept to improve the efficiency of the engine is that, first, best efficiency of the engine or internal combustion engine can be observed in relatively low to mid engine speed and higher engine torque, high engine load. And to make it improve, of course, peak thermal efficiency should be improved, or area of the peak thermal efficiency should be expanded, or in combination with transmission technology, usage frequency on this peak thermal efficiency should be expanded. So these combinations could enhance the further improvement of internal combustion engine. I strongly believe that still we have potential. And the other reason why, and then also we have the hybrid transmission technology. The reason why Toyota has chosen the hybrid transmission as one of the core competencies is because, of course, thanks to electric motor management in conjunction with high thermal efficiency gasoline engine, it provides better fuel efficiency. But the point is that in light vehicles, like electric vehicles, plug-in cars, or fuel cell cars, please have a look at each component. So the components in dotted line, basically, they are the same. They are commonized. They are transferred from hybrid vehicles to any other futuristic vehicles. So we are still not sure which direction in the next 20, 30, or 50 years. Who will be the winner? We do not know. But at least, no matter how the mobility is going to the pure electric or pure hydrogen, still our experience on the technology or production can be transferred from hybrid vehicle to any other futuristic vehicles. That's why we have chosen a hybrid transmission system as a core competence. Next, I'm talking about energy diversification. I was talking in Lawrence Ingamocha that there are many kinds of primary energy, and also there are many kinds of energy carriers. Of course, we know that the majority of the energy to be used for cars, for truck, gasoline or diesel. In Thailand, natural gas or biofuel has been widely used. But clearly, as highlighted by myself in the previous chart, internal combustion engine, regardless with or without hybrid transmission, could play a quite important role in the future. No matter how primary energy will be diversified from crude to natural gas, coal to biomass. And clearly it can be said that Thailand is one of the most advanced countries for diversified energy. This is a rough portfolio of our products from E20 compatible vehicles and E85 vehicles, natural gas cars, hybrid cars, as well as diesel. We do not see such diversified portfolio lineup in any other countries. So this is how important the dialogue between policymakers and manufacturers, key manufacturers are. Because Thailand has clearly indicated in their energy policy paper that we are prioritizing natural gas, we are prioritizing biofuel, ethanol. So in the response to such a policy, clear policy guideline, we could successfully have launched the products in accordance with the policy guideline. So that's the success story. So I'm strongly believing and expecting this sort of dialogue between energy stakeholders will be kept unchanged. And as a result of energy diversification, of course, whole energy demand is growing, and dark blue is showing gasoline, and gray zone is diesel. But clearly, alternative energy like natural gas, LPG, biodiesel, or bioethanol can become a significant proportion. So, of course, it takes time. It takes decades. But we need to keep this momentum. Then clearly it will be mitigating the energy problem. Concerning the biofuels, there are many kinds of biomasses like sugarcane, cassava, palm fruit, whatever. And for general products, all Toyota vehicle is now compatible with E10 or E20, and some model is compatible with E85. For diesel, it's up to E7, and clearly PTT is taking a strong initiative for launching hydrogen-treated vegetable oil. That is highly appreciated. And biofuel and natural gas we have launched the products in accordance with the policy. But based upon hybrid vehicle technology, we are recently launching the products in combining between hybrid technology and pure battery electric. So I'm sure it is showing some tuning films. It is not really technical technology film. It is shown in motor show. It is rather to the public, so you may be a little bit bored. Please be relaxed. As said, this was not really technical film. But the key point is, was many consumers, including me, are not necessarily selecting the cars purely for economics. Sometimes we have chosen the car because this is more sexy, this is more cool. And the new products like plug-in car or electric car or fuel cell cars need some extra attractiveness to get the new consumer to bring in. So that's why my XPR3 was making such video. Of course, that's not too technical. So that's sure how you can understand what is plug-in hybrid. But to make it simple, based upon hybrid Prius with little bigger lithium-ion battery, enabling 20 kilometers electric vehicle, 20 kilometer plus electric vehicle driving distance, which could cover, so let's say, daily operation for normal use. And by making the marginal increase of the secondary battery, extra price, incremental price could be reduced. So that's why we think that as a bridge technology, this plug-in concept with marginal increase of the battery size is one of the reasonable solutions. But still, it could create attractiveness to the ordinary consumers. So that's our challenge. Okay. Then next, I'm coming to the talk about the traffic flow. Even though Toyota or Honda is making good car, fuel efficient cars, but the vehicle is stopped, is trapped in the jam, it doesn't work. So traffic flow has to be good. In this sense, probably city traffic flow in Bangkok has been improved considering the previous decade. But still, traffic jam is the key to be considered. This is one of the data which Japan Research Institute has been studying. How much extra benefit on CO2 is observed if average vehicle speed could be increased. Probably average vehicle speed in Bangkok city center in the daytime maybe about 10, in some between 10 to 20 kilometers per hour range. So this, in theory, this means if this could be increased to 20 to 30 kilometer range, automatically whole energy consumption in fleet can be reduced significantly. Fuel economy, better fuel economy efficient cars, in fact, needs some time to be realized because we have much fleet numbers in the market. Turnover ratio is limited. But once traffic flow is improved, all of a sudden energy demand can be reduced. So that's why we have recognized that this is one of also important measures to be had. So in this perspective, Toyota Motor Thailand has been initiating one of ITS program together with Thai stakeholders. The basic concept is that transmitters are equipped with trucks or some cars running in Bangkok, and the data average vehicle speed in certain street can be collected to the data center and feedback to the vehicle, which road is now jammed, and eventually guiding the driver to use alternate route in order to reduce or in order to make a much smoother traffic. Hybrid vehicles or other efficient vehicle cars could provide better economy on condition that if smoother traffic is realized. So that's why we are so motivated to realize that smoother traffic flow. Beyond ITS demonstration in Bangkok, we are recently announcing next-gen so-called multimodal demonstration project featuring micro-mobility. But in this sense, Bangkok is already conducting a multimodal transport system because you have bike taxi, you have tuk-tuk in Chile. So not only passenger car or light trucks, you already have different kind of transport measures. But our thought is that connecting these different vehicle measures by smartphone or the others, and also eventually micro-mobility can be switched to the e-bikes or e-mobility to even 3-wheelers, and enabling the final miles to the final destination. I'm showing the film.
Toyota is currently developing a system which integrates personal vehicles and public transport in order to provide the city and its inhabitants with the most comfortable transportation experience possible. Harmony. There are two main features to this system: a multimodal navigation system with the capability to incorporate many forms of transport into one route, and a mobility network of ultra-compact electric vehicles for traveling short distances within the city when needed. Harmo will inform you of traffic congestion before you leave, and through its smartphone application will recommend a better route to avoid traffic jams. On top of this, you will be sent a periodic traffic forecast in order to plan your routes beforehand and undertake your daily commute stress-free. Not only will Harmo find the most convenient route for you, but will also inform bus operators of a potential increase in passengers so they can increase capacity when necessary and maintain a smooth operation throughout the day. Harmo recommends routes based on a multimodal network of transport systems, including a Harmo Ride, car-sharing network of ultra-compact electric vehicles suitable for moving freely within the city. This new type of service is designed to take you short distances from the station to your desired destination while moving around among parking stations. Its small size also means less parking space is needed. Residents
reservations can be made with ease from Harmo's application, making picking up your Harmo ride at the station smooth and seamless. You can then leave the vehicle at any of the many parking stations, allowing you to take advantage of this free-flowing network anytime, anywhere. The more people that use this convenient Harmo system, the more the Harmo sensor can gather and analyze a view of the city in its entirety, and use this information to suggest a more efficient use of private and public transport. With everyone using various means of transportation according to the traffic situation, traffic congestion can be reduced. By doing a small part, you will be increasing the comfort of your city as a whole. Getting about town can be a joy. Help to steer your city in a better direction. The fulfillment of this vision is now underway.
Sorry, film was so messy. Before having the Harmo, probably I need to upgrade my laptop. The point is that in combination between the e-mobility and public transport, the consumer has been, upon request, guided with most reasonable, most economical, most less carbon transport measure. And many of these technology pieces have been already in demonstration in Kyoto City. So if some of you may be interested in knowing more, I'm happy to provide any information if it is the case. And I have two final slides. I was talking how Toyota has been making an effort to improve the efficiency in the vehicle itself or society overall. But as highlighted by Dr. Bailey before, education, guidance to the public is also playing quite an important role. The point I have highlighted in this chart is that left-hand side is the index or parameters which normally consumers is paying attention on selecting the cars. People love the car. People is taking the car because this is comfort. This is differentiated. This is attractive. This is economic. This is more spacious. Actually, I'm driving GT86 Sport Coupe. I'm emitting much carbon. But after purchasing GT86, I have changed my commuting style from car to train. So finally, less carbon. This is my excuse. The right-hand side is showing how society overall or how government is paying attention on cars. Because number of cars is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's why environmental consciousness, safety, or energy diversification is getting more critical, which normally or not necessarily consumers pay attention. So that's why we need to coordinate these two sometimes contradictory aspects. So in this perspective, as a vehicle manufacturer, we put attractiveness or extra attractiveness to the cars for alternative energy vehicles or the other new and efficient vehicles. And also, we are expecting policymakers for long-lasting and comprehensive policy for consumers to guide to be more reasonable direction. This is one thing to be highlighted in the final slide. And second thing is that as an energy engineer, I said I'm strongly believing the future potential of engine or engineering. I'm sure many of you are leader or maybe future leader of each institution, departments, company, or any other schools or whatever. But please do not forget and also encourage young engineers to be producing more attractive products. As highlighted Dr. Bain again, engineer's job, engineer's role is to put additional value or extra value on primary objects and to get the money and to enrich the society. Actually, this is one of which when I was in 20s, a young engineer, I have been so addicted to this project, making best fuel economy parts. The final results was, I think, reached to 3,000 km per liter. So that's why I still strongly believe in that still engine or vehicle has a potential to improve relationship. Engineer can do it. So that's why I'm, as a final remark to the future or to current leader, to the departments or company or institution, please believe the future of engineering and please encourage them to do so. Thank you very much.
Let me join and welcome Dr. Phanom Phutiya.
Ladies and gentlemen, well, I did not expect to come here as an energy expert, but somehow listening to the two great corporations, I could say that I have learned so much about the side of the supplier and also the side of the user, which is Toyota Motor Corporation. Out of my experience, in fact, I just came back from a city called Kyushu. It's in Kyushu Island. And that city was an industrialized city. And in the 1960s, it was so polluted. I went there on a conference when they showed the picture of the city of Kyushu, a fully polluted city. And they decided to go green. And at the present moment, it's truly green. You go into the industrial city, you don't feel anything. There is no pollution being felt. All the sea water becomes so clear and clean. It gives me the hope that it is possible. The possibility to really create a sustainable energy platform is right here. It is possible. There were examples that some cities could do that. And I think that we have to try to strive for that too. Thailand has been so efficient in using energy. We are, I think, number 80 in about 115 countries, which is, we are still wasting a lot of energy. And we have a lot to learn on how to try to get rid of all the pollutions. I remember that when I was in the government, the first objective as an economist is that we imported too much oil, crude oil. And we had to try to reduce the consumption of crude oil. So we try to think of what we could do. In fact, we, in the end, thought about the renewable energy. And that was the beginning of gasohol. We have been successful in inducing PDT, in fact, to stop importing MTBE. and to use the ethanol for 10% to mix with the gas to become gasohol. And that was the beginning of the use of our agricultural produce, that is sugarcane, from sugarcane to tapioca, to be able to create a cleaner environment, because gasohol do not have to pollutions from lead poisoning, MTBE. It was a hard time to do that. I could tell you that political decisions have to be brave, even though anyone would know what the benefit, but we also have to oppose all the opposition in doing that. Somehow we were successful. That was my first experience of how to reduce crude oil import, which is in fact to try to create a better environment. Then I am involved in the search for renewable energy resources or sustainable energy resources. So I was so glad that I was the chairman of a company called Sayaburi, which is going to constructing a very large hydropower plant across Mekong River. Certainly, we were opposed by NGOs. We were opposed by Cambodia and Vietnam for the possible environmental concerns. But somehow we were able to get all the experts all over the world, from Switzerland, from everywhere, to try to find solutions and to convince all the neighboring countries that the environmental impact could be resolved. It might not be exactly zero, but it could be resolved. Most of it could be resolved. And we were able to get all the approval of the Mekong River Council, River Commission, that we could go on with the project. That will certainly sell electricity in Thailand. So I am glad that at this moment, Thai government is trying to promote solar power plants, to promote hydro power plants, and to promote wind farms, to try to substitute for oil and more environmental, more other resources that create environmental problems. But somehow we still need much more. I have read one article that said that San Francisco is a city that now is using only 50% from oil as energy of their use, and the other 50% is from green energy. And this is interesting, and this is what we have to think, that if San Francisco can do that, what about Bangkok? Why could not we do it? This depends again on maybe energy literacy that Dr. Penny is trying to promote and to educate all the Bangkok people. But somehow I'm more excited that this conference is supported by BASF. This is a chemical company. But I think that BASF must be very concerned about the environmental problem. And I heard that there's now a very new technology called artificial leaf. Probably know more than I do. But let me tell everyone here, artificial leaf, as I read about it, is a chemical processing, a process that can separate hydrogen and oxygen and put them into containers. And imagine that hydrogen can be used instead of as a substitute of oil, a substitute of gasoline. Now you have the clean environment car. You have the green car. You can have electricity driven car or hydrogen-driven vehicle or electricity generation by hydrogen. And air is abundant. So you will have an unlimited environment. And artificial leaf has already been tested and experimented. So it's so near to our life. You see nanotechnology under the solar panel. I have a few solar panels in my group under the company called CTF Power, which is a holding company. We also hold major shares of a few solar panel plants. But the more exciting is the price of solar panel compared to what I built a few years ago is reduced by half now. The latest price quoted to us is about 16 cents per kilowatt hour. This is amazing. So we are looking at how to use this lower price solar panel to substitute in Myanmar, because they use still the generator, oil gas generator. And it costs them 40 cents per kilowatt hour. Imagine more than 100% profit. Think the solar panel on the roof of the plants. But the problem is we can only use it for 5 hours a day. So we need more energy. But again, just to have it 5 hours a day will save a lot of money of cost of production in Myanmar. But nanotechnology, nanotech solar panel can further reduce the price of solar panel, and it will become as economical as the present oil price. Again, this is a second alternative source that beside the artificial leaf to get the hydrogen. Now you get the nanotech solar panel, which is you can produce it under 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Then I heard that in Portuguese they started to create what they call a wave farm. They can create electricity generation out of the wave in the sea. This is still amazing because it's natural things that you can do under the water. You don't see any environmental spoilage, no pollutions, eyesight pollutions or anything. And it can create electricity. And it has been done in Portuguese, portable. So these are the things of the future. And I think that I'm glad that this conference has been created in Thailand. And I hope that it will give us all the applications and knowledge and further conferences, further support would be done to be able to tell us that we have to search for better energy resources. We have to search for better use of the energy resources. That's what Toyota has been doing now. Thank you very much.
Last but not least, both of us would like to say thank you very much. And the Sustainability Consortium is looking forward to your participation in the next distinctive lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.